Fowler. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Bart. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome back. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, and thanks for the hats.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Getting ready for a big race weekend. We're looking at the weather. It looks like it's going to be pretty decent.
Yeah, I think we're going to be all right. Things are shaping up pretty well. You know, it's a busy week for us, but this is a week we look forward to all year long. So campers started loading in yesterday, which is awesome. We've got fans back at the track and, you know, excited for Friday, Saturday, Sunday when we'll have 3 big races. So big week for us.
Yeah, I've been hearing from my friends in Brooklyn that already they're seeing traffic pick up and people are heading to the stores, stocking up. And for the Firekeepers 400, we have a great storyline that's been developing, starting in Richmond when Austin Dillon had what would be considered, I guess, a controversial win with a pretty big wreck on the final lap.
Yeah, it was a dramatic finish. Austin Dillon ended up taking out a couple different drivers, Joey Logano and then Denny Hamlin, to take the victory in Richmond last weekend. So, you know, those storylines are always fun to see how they develop from here. You know, we've had really good racing at MIS for a number of years, but the last 2 in particular, as people are trying to fight their way into the playoffs, you know, there's already that intensity, and then when you add a layer like what happened in Richmond, it's going to be exciting. So we could have some fireworks on the track. It's hard to say.
Well, I think a lot of race fans will have their eyes on Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin, as both are big fan favorites at Michigan. They both won this race before.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, we're hearing a lot of people that are pulling for Chris Buescher, who won last year. Mm-hmm. He's trying to make his way into the playoffs, so that's a big name. Ross Chastain, another very popular driver that's just on the cusp of making it in. So a lot of good storylines leading it. It should be a fun race.
Yeah, and Chris is in the field for this Sunday, and you know, it's possible to repeat. It's happened before.
It could, yeah. It's not uncommon to repeat, and you know, he's been so close all year. The closest, I think, was at Kansas, which was the closest finish in NASCAR history. Yeah. Didn't quite take home the victory, but you know, good guy, somebody that people really love in Michigan, and of course Eric Jones, who's, you know, from Michigan, Brad Keselowski from Michigan, so 2 other drivers that are from right here in our backyard that have a big fan following.
Well, since that controversial finish, there's been a lot of chatter, you know, and how much of that is just like build up, and how much of it is there some serious bad blood?
You know, it's interesting. I don't, you know, hang out with those guys, so I don't really know what it's like day to day, but it's very real. But if you think about it, the guys travel, you know, every week together. Their families are around each other all the time. So there's bad blood at times, but usually people work it out, try to figure it out. But, you know, when you go from one situation where you're going to win the race to not being able to win the race, and you know who caused it, you know, sometimes that lingers around for a week or 2.
Well, there can only be one winner. So
That's
there's going to be some, you know, some sourpusses at every single race.
Absolutely.
All right, we've got a big weekend, so we've already sold out some of the experiences and some of the camping, right? This is Michigan's biggest campground, Joe.
It is, by far, yeah. You know, so we'll have, we've had infield sellouts now for the last couple of years, and the infield's a really popular place to camp, and a number of our campgrounds are sold out. Now, we still have camping, but that's always exciting to see. You mentioned Victory Lane Club. It's one of our higher end experiences that did sell out, but we do have some seats in our Champions Club, which is actually one of my personal favorites because it's right above the start finish line. You have an outdoor seat with access to an indoor club. So that's always popular, and we just have a few of those seats left. But you know, something that we're very proud of at Michigan is the fact that we offer a little bit for everybody, right? So we have an entry-level price point of $39 to come to the track, and with that $39, you don't have to pay to park. You can bring in your own cooler. You can bring in your own beverages as long as it's not in glass. So we try to keep things affordable, but we also like, you know, to offer some higher end things too for people.
Yeah, and you really put a lot of things into these experiences and these premium clubs and suites. I was looking at the Turn 4 club presented by Cabo Wabo, and everything's included.
Yeah, you show up, it's an add-on to your ticket, so if you have a grandstand ticket, you can add that on, and we have driver appearances in there, we have a DJ in that space. There's a lot going on in that area, and you know, Cabo Wabo is a brand that we love because they're just fun to work with. It's a fun brand, so they bring an energy to that space that our fans definitely enjoy.
So we've got 3 races this weekend. Things actually start on Thursday, but 3 big races. We've got, what's up first?
So the ARCA Menard Series is Friday, and that's the Henry Ford Health 200, and then followed on Saturday by the NASCAR Xfinity Series, which is the kind of the number 2 nationally ranked series, and that's the Cabo Wabo 250. And then Sunday, of course, is the big race that everybody is looking forward to, the NASCAR Cup Series Firekeepers Casino Race 400. So.
And there's some, I know there's a couple of teenagers that have been racing in both of the ARCA and the truck series that, are we going to see them in Michigan? I can't think of the one kid's name. He's just turned 18, but he's been racing and he hopes to make it to the NASCAR circuit.
The beautiful thing about the ARCA Menard Series, one, it's a series that's based here in Michigan, and it's a series that has a lot of history at our track, but it is known for bringing in the younger talent that is working their way, or even some veteran talent, that's been racing in the regional series and trying to make their way into the NASCAR ranks. So that's a lot of fun for us, because Friday you really get to see the future stars of our sport, and then of course Sunday you get to see the best drivers in the world.
And they do. We see them move up, and they move up pretty fast. They have success on that circuit, and they're racing in NASCAR. So let's talk about the experience for someone who's never been to MIS. They've got 3 opportunities, and I know some people that are going to the Cabo Wabo Saturday because they feel like, well, if I'm going to put my foot in the water, I want to just take maybe a small step. But I think that's a good idea to experience, maybe one of the pre-races before the Firekeepers.
We have a lot of options for people that want to come for the first time, families that want to come for the first time, and Friday and Saturday are really popular for that reason. So, youth 12 and under are actually free on Friday or Saturday if they choose, and tickets are just $10 for the Sunday race. But, for the first time fan that's coming, it can be a little intimidating at first. I mean, we have a massive property, the 2-mile oval itself. It's this monster when you start to approach it. It's a really easy track to get around. We have a lot of people on our guest services team available to help kind of show people where to go. But the best part about being a fan for the first time is getting to experience all the things that you can't experience when you watch at home. The sights, the smells, the sounds. There's a camaraderie in the grandstands. Everybody's friends. You make new friends. You hook up with people every year and create traditions. That's what the sport's all about, and I love it when people come for the first time.
Yeah, and if you have one of those hats that your wife doesn't think should wear out in public, this is a place you can wear it.
Perhaps. Well, I've seen some interesting hats before in the crowd. Yeah.
You've got Eric Jones. Big fan favorite as well, being from Michigan, and he's going to be hosting the Eric Jones Experience again this year.
He is, yeah. He'll be the Eric Jones Experience happens outside of the Turn 4 area, and he'll be there. He'll be there to sign some autographs. I believe going to do a quick Q&A. Eric's just such a good guy. He brings literally his friends and his family, and then fans alike, and everybody just gathers up and gets ready for the big race on Sunday. But looking forward to that. It's always a fun place to go.
Yeah, it's really a festival atmosphere all throughout the property.
It is. People think about the race, and when you were talking about first-timers, that's something that I always tell the first-timers is, yeah, the race is the main attraction, but there's so much more that you can see and do before the race, of course, and what we call our fan plaza. One of my favorites is the NASCAR Experience. It's a big display that's set up, DJs, again, driver appearance. It's access to our sport without having to be down in the garage area, of course, but it's a fun atmosphere. There are things for kids to do. And we program around it. We'll have mini golf. We'll have a number of things out there for everybody to see and do. And so you think about that, you can spend an entire day just out and about before the race and never run out of things to do.
Yeah, and I recommend people get in the stands, get in your seats well before the race starts, because what you guys do in the pre-race time period is amazing. All the fan introductions, the Grand Marshal, the national anthem. I mean, there's quite a ceremony before the race, before the checkered flag drops.
Yeah, it's a special ceremony.
Green flag drops.
And there's just a pageantry to it, right? It's very patriotic. I mean, it's very, energizing. That crowd when they get all together and the drivers come out, their favorite drivers come out. I mean, they roar, and you definitely know that they're there.
So we have some concerts too. I think each day you've got something, right?
Yeah, we have concerts that start in the infield on Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday as well. So Thursday is dueling pianos, which is a fun one. Our infield fans love that. And then Saturday we'll have a band called Sunset Boulevard. They play a lot of hits from the 80s and a lot of rock music. They do a great job. And then Sunday we'll have Tim Duggar. And then we'll also have another band called Family Tradition. So they'll play back to back, and we'll have a fireworks show on Saturday night. So a lot going on in the infield. It's a good place to be. A lot of fun.
Yeah. Any celebrities that you can announce that will be part of the either Start Your Engines or anything like that?
Not that I can announce right now. I mean, we always have people show up, and it's just sort of interesting. You walk around and go, "Hey, I know who that is."
You know, we've got an awful lot of Olympic athletes that are just back from Paris. That
I would venture to guess that we'll have a few of them there. Yeah.
Awesome. People can still get their tickets right now, just going online, right?
Yeah, we still have great tickets available. They can get online. I always tell people that online is a great resource when you want to find out a little bit more about each different option that we have. And then if you get stumped and just need a little bit of help, you can call our hotline, 888-905-7223. Talk to a ticket agent, and they can help you get set up with the perfect experience. So, yeah.
Well, I know the excitement level is up this year. We were talking to Experience Jackson 2 weeks ago, and all the hotels are sold out.
Booked.
Yeah. And it's been a while since that's happened.
It is. You know, I think there's an energy in our sport that I haven't seen in a long time, you know, and we were just talking earlier about the little things that make a big difference, like what happened in Richmond. I personally can't wait to see what happens in the race. And, you know, I'm thinking about the track every day, and it's fun to see the energy, you know, being here in the backyard of the auto manufacturers. That's a big deal. The Heritage Trophy for the drivers, it's something we offer. The winning team's auto manufacturer gets to take that and get bragging rights for the whole year. That's a big deal. The drivers just love coming to MIS in general. There's a lot of history here. It's a fun, fast track for them to race. So you take everything and then you add in the fact that we have some of the best fans in the sport. You can't walk around without a smile on your face the entire weekend.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of tradition too. It's the longest running race at MIS. You've got legends like Kelly Yarborough. I think he still holds the record for the most wins in August at MIS, but I know there's some new faces in NASCAR that are gunning for his record.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, you think about the Earnhardts, the Pettys, the Allisons. I mean, there's so many great names that have raced at MIS, and then you think in the modern era, like someone like Kevin Harvick, who is no longer behind the wheel, but you know, he won a number of races right there in a row, and he's still a popular figure in the sport. So yeah, there's a lot of history, and I think that's why it's so meaningful to the drivers that do get the victory lane and do get the win. It's a pretty powerful thing.
Great. Any word yet on the 2025 schedule?
Not yet. I hope we're close. If you find out, let me know.
All right.
I'll do the same.
Well, I hope we have a great weekend, and I'm sure we will. Keep your fingers crossed for a lot of sunshine, and a beautiful day like today would be perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last thing I'll say is, you know, if you haven't been to the track at all, or if you just haven't been in a while, this is the perfect race to go to. Give us a call. Come out. You'll have a blast. We appreciate all the support in the Jackson area. We have a ton of fans here. I know just driving around, people are excited. So looking forward to a great weekend.
It's right in our backyard this weekend, MIS. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Joe Fowler, president at Michigan International Speedway. Up next,